So at 4:35 today, Kansas City Police Department was notified of an individual that was acting erratically. He had a weapon that was pointing in the direction of others. When officers arrived on the scene, they did encounter the subject with a handgun. They attempted to de-escalate the situation. However, when they requested him to drop the handgun, he did not and was subsequently shot. He was fatally wounded at the scene.
Sergeant, do you know how many Kansas City police officers were involved in this incident, or how many actually discharged a weapon? And then I would assume they would be placed on paid administrative leave pending any outcome of your investigation.
So there were two officers that arrived on the scene. One officer fired his weapon. As far as any administrative action, I'm going to defer that to the Kansas City Police Department. I'm not at liberty to speak on their behalf as far as administrative procedures, but there were two officers, and one officer did fire his weapon.
The suspect who was shot, was his gun loaded? And if so, did they fire that gun at all during this?
Well, that's one of the things we're trying to determine. That's part of looking through and making sure that we're getting all the correct information. Having not spoken to the officers or the witnesses, our investigators are just starting the process on figuring out, what they had. So.
How long after they arrived was this man shot?
I would say moments after they arrived.
Do you know how many times the one officer discharged his weapon?
That I do not know. That's something we're going to determine.
What de-escalation steps were taken?
Well, the de-escalation step was when you're encountering somebody with a weapon to, have them put the weapon down in a manner which is in a calm voice, as calm as you can be. However, that didn't work out. When you're talking about trying to de-escalate something, you're also talking about trying to remove that threat that the individual is showing, and he didn't remove the threat.
So the community is safe for now. There was just one individual in question.
Just one individual, correct.
What was the exact street where this happened?
It was 27th and Poplar, in between Poplar and Brighton.
Did you have one person call police, or was it several people calling about the person?
That I'm not sure. I know specifically one individual, but I'm not sure how many.
Was he on the sidewalk or walking in the street?
He was in the street.
He was in the street.
He was in the street. So, anything else? All right. So just to reiterate, it's early on in the investigation, and as details that we can provide, we'll provide them. Just keep up with our Twitter page. We'll make any updates we can through that. All right. Thanks.
All right, so we certainly got a lot of our questions answered there with that briefing from the Missouri Highway Patrol, who is investigating this officer-involved shooting that happened about 4:30 this afternoon. Witnesses called police because a person was walking in the street pointing a gun indiscriminately at people, and the two police officers responded and asked that person to drop their gun.
They attempted to de-escalate the situation, as police call it. That individual did not. This person was asked to drop the weapon. Again, the person did not. And at some point, officers felt the need to go ahead and open fire. Presumably, those officers felt threatened at that moment, but obviously that's all part of the ongoing investigation that is just beginning by state troopers. That man who was pointing that weapon indiscriminately at people in the street there at 27th and Brighton is dead. And as we say, the investigation now just beginning on the east side of Kansas City. I think the Jackson County prosecutor is there. We obviously know that Police Chief Stacey Graves is on this scene as well.
And the investigation will continue. We'll continue to update at KMBC.com throughout the evening. We'll see you tonight at 9 on KCWE and at 10 on KMBC.